Fear fiends, welcome back to the arena of agony, the Colosseum of creepiness, the Chillergeist Horror League. The air is thick with the scent of fear and freshly spilled popcorn as we dive headfirst into the home invasion division, where safety is an illusion and the front door is merely a suggestion. This is round 1, where the top 10 domestic terrors go head-to-head. Will the higher ranks hold their ground, or will the lower-seeded psychos manage an upset? Let's find out, with the help of my co-host, the brutally objective Boris Bones. Today, we pit the anonymous, motiveless dread of the strangers against the theatrical, intellectual sadism of the home invaders. The winner, based on superior ranking, is the strangers.
The stranger's silent, sustained psychological torment yields a superior fear factor index, compared to the home invaders' highly verbal and situationally contained sadism. Optimal efficiency favors the anonymous.
It's a clash of contracts and chaos. We have the professional, masked assassins of the collective facing the chaotic, nationwide wave of violence, the Purgers. The victor in this financial feud is the collective.
The collective secures victory due to a superior tactical precision score and high motive clarity, which statistically outperforms the Purgers' broad, low-cohesion, high-volume operational model.
We turn to a tale of two sieges. The killers of Panic Room are motivated by a vault of cash, facing the relentlessly efficient, youthful hunters, the attackers. Due to a higher league standing, the win goes to the killers.
The killer's engagement with a specialized fortification challenge provides a higher overall home invasion archetype score, despite the attacker's superior stealth and endurance metrics in rural environments.
A sensory showdown. We have the ill-fated thieves, the burglars, against the focused, masked sadist known as the intruders. By the numbers, the victor is the burglars.
The burglars are ranked higher by proxy of their victim, the blind man, whose defensive system and subsequent threat roll reversal generates an exceptionally high subgenre innovation score.
Our final match pits cosmic darkness against cold reality. The patient, sinister cultists battle the brutally efficient home invaders. The final winner is the higher-ranked the cultists.
The cultists' utilization of the domestic space for occult transcendence and long-term goal achievement provides a thematic depth and a higher existential dread coefficient than the invaders' purely monetary objective.
We'll take a short break now, and after we will look at the top 10. Kicking off our final countdown, the brutal, efficient trio from Kidnapped, the home invaders, sit at number 10.
Subject: the home invaders from Kidnapped occupy the 10th position due to a high level of realism and sustained tactical efficiency, but their methodology is ultimately constrained by a predictable financial motive. While their execution of the home invasion is brutally effective, showcasing exceptional coordination among the three assailants and a rapid escalation of violence, the absence of any psychological or thematic depth limits their ranking. They are masters of the physical violence metric, yet they fail in the existential dread metric. They operate within a tight temporal window, prioritizing extraction over sustained terror. This places them below entities whose threat extends beyond the immediate domestic violation, such as cults or ideologically driven attackers. They represent the baseline of competent, profit-driven invasion, but lack the innovative cruelty or supernatural complexity required for higher placement in the league.
Moving up to number 9, the cold, calculating mask of sheer evil, the intruders from Hush.
The intruders from Hush secure the 9th rank primarily due to their unique tactical constraint and high predator-prey isolation score. By targeting a deaf and mute victim, the intruder leverages a specific disability, creating a compelling cat-and-mouse dynamic centered on sound and silence. This subversion of typical horror expectations elevates their standing. However, the simplicity of the intruder's motive, pure, unadulterated sadism, and the lack of external coordination or systemic backing prevents a higher ascent. He operates solo, relying entirely on brute force and opportune manipulation of the environment. His failure to maintain operational security and his eventual defeat, despite the significant tactical advantage, indicates vulnerabilities that prevent him from challenging the institutional or supernatural threats ranked above him.
At number 8, the ancient, insidious evil that prefers patience over panic, the cultists.
The cultists are positioned at number 8 for their high occult consequence factor and mastery of the atmospheric slow burn. Unlike purely physical threats, their invasion transcends the material, aiming for spiritual and existential violation. The actual home invasion is deceptively quiet and patient. It is an act of meticulous ritual preparation. This slow-play approach maximizes the build-up of dread, achieving a higher psychological trauma index. Their weakness lies in their operational dependency on a single, low-activity ritual. The successful placement of the pregnant victim into the house is the endgame, rather than a sustained campaign of terror. They trade immediate kinetic energy for long-term, cosmic dread, which, while powerful, is less adaptable and therefore ranks lower than threats that master both psychological and physical metrics.
The ill-prepared perpetrators who became the victims themselves, the burglars, are locked in at number 7.
The burglars hold the 7th position due to their involvement in a high-concept threat roll reversal scenario, providing a high subgenre innovation score. While they initiate the home invasion, their status quickly shifts to that of the prey, hunted by the highly capable and brutally motivated blind man. This reversal complicates the standard home invasion trope. Their ranking is not based on their own competence, which is relatively low, but on the intensity of the domestic siege they trigger. The environmental complexity, the darkness, the sound-based hunting, generates exceptional suspense and tension. Furthermore, the blind man's dark secrets and superior physical control over the environment ensure a harrowing, labyrinthine experience that elevates the entire narrative arc beyond a simple break-in. This thematic depth earns them this rank.
The terrifying power of anonymity and youthful cruelty, the attackers from the French classic Them Ils come in at number 6.
The attackers from them are placed at number 6 for their chilling anonymous youth factor and relentless siege endurance. Their invasion is characterized by protracted psychological warfare, taunts, noise, and meticulous disablement of the victim's defenses, before the final, inevitable physical confrontation. Their key strength is their motiveless persistence. They act purely for cruel sport, which maximizes the terror of the random attack. This is chillingly reinforced by their reveal as local children, making the threat ubiquitous and unexpected. However, they rely heavily on the victim's isolation and fear. Their methods, while effective in a secluded location, lack the technological sophistication or systemic cruelty of high-ranked adversaries, confining their influence primarily to rural, geographically vulnerable locations.
The high-stakes experts of breaking into the impenetrable, the resourceful trio known as the Killers are our number 5.
The Killers secure the 5th spot as the definitive fortification challenge specialist. They face an extreme defensive setup, a hardened steel panic room, and yet proceed with a highly organized and resourceful siege. This demonstrates a superior adaptability and resourcefulness metric. The group is a mix of tactical expertise, brute force, and emotional volatility, which creates constant, unpredictable internal and external conflict. Their ranking is high because their threat level remains acute even when they are physically excluded from the target location. Their capability to breach or circumvent extreme security measures places them above simple forced entry specialists. They represent the highest tier of financially motivated, highly professional domestic threats that excel in complex, confined environments.
A threat that comes once a year, sanctioned by the state itself. At number 4, it is the Purgers.
The Purgers are ranked 4th because their terror is legally and systemically sanctioned, granting them the highest state-endorsed cruelty score. While their individual tactics may be chaotic, their collective threat stems from a nationalized failure of security and morality, making them an unavoidable annual threat. The concept of the purge introduces a profound social breakdown anxiety. Their power is not just physical, it is institutional. They leverage advanced defensive technology, like armored trucks and thermal imaging, but primarily gain strength from the temporary suspension of all law enforcement. This elevation to a systemic threat level, where the entire nation is complicit in the home invasion, catapults them past localized or financially motivated adversaries into the higher tiers of existential terror.
The chilling combination of family drama and mercenary efficiency, the crossbow-wielding assassins, the Collective, land at number 3.
The Collective achieves the number 3 ranking through their unparalleled integration of domestic and familial betrayal, providing an industry-leading trust violation index. Their attack is a surgical strike designed to look like random violence, meticulously planned to secure an inheritance, effectively weaponizing close relationships. This elevates the threat from external intrusion to internal, unavoidable rot. Their use of crossbows, axes, and military precision signifies high professional competence, but it is the psychological dimension of pre-planning the victim selection and the emotional context of the environment that drives their ranking. They represent the most successful convergence of tactical efficiency and emotional manipulation, making their invasion not just a physical struggle but a devastating cognitive trauma for the victim.
The ultimate, self-aware sadists who play with the film itself. At number 2, it is the sophisticated menace of the home invaders from Funny Games.
The home invaders from Funny Games are positioned at number 2 for their mastery of meta-theatrical sadism, and their unparalleled fourth wall violation score. Their cruelty is highly self-aware, intellectual, and driven by a desire to challenge the audience's emotional boundaries as much as the victim's physical security. Their use of the remote control to undo narrative events demonstrates a godlike control over the situation, eliminating hope as a variable. This makes them a transcendent, philosophical threat, not merely a physical one. They are ranked above the Collective and the Purgers because their motive is pure, distilled evil aimed at illustrating the performative nature of violence. Their ability to speak directly to the camera and manipulate the narrative elevates their influence beyond the screen and into the viewer's own sense of security.
Finally, the undisputed champion of domestic terror, the symbol of absolute, meaningless horror, your number 1, the Strangers.
The Strangers hold the undisputed number 1 position due to their perfect score in anonymous, motiveless cruelty. Their lack of a quantifiable motive, because you were home, renders them UN-negotiable, UN-predictable, and universally applicable. This provides the highest possible random terror efficacy. Their simple, unnerving masks and their silent, persistent psychological warfare are a masterclass in atmospheric build-up. They don't seek wealth or systemic change. They seek the simple, devastating act of violation. They are the purest, most elemental representation of the home invasion fear, stripped of all context and narrative justification, making them the most effective agents of domestic dread in the league. They are the ultimate embodiment of bad luck and existential horror.